Everyone loves summertime and going on beach vacations, right? Most people look forward to getting away from work and spending hours relaxing in the sand, wading in the water, and working on a tan. While staying active during the summer and taking in vitamin D is important, it is equally important to protect yourself from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. Although many people today desire a golden tan and will even spend money to achieve this look, it has not always been this way. Before the Industrial Revolution, the upper class favored paler skin as it signified a life spent inside without having to work in the fields all day. But during the late 1800s and early 1900s, America transformed from an agricultural society to an increasingly industrialized and urbanized one. The rise of big business encouraged massive migration and urbanization. People moved to urban areas and a new working class of factory workers emerged. Many of these factory workers were pale due to the long hours they spent indoors, leading to the association of pale skin with people from poorer backgrounds. Consequently, being tanned and bronzed came to symbolize affluence and vacationing to warm, luxurious places. Throughout the 1900s, more info and concerns about the dangers of tanning were coming out from the medical community, but at the same time, tan skin was becoming more attractive in American pop culture. During the 2000s, more light was shed on the topic, and since then there has been more awareness about skin cancer. In recent years, I've even noticed social media influencers emphasizing the importance of skincare and using products with SPF to prevent premature aging and skin damage. Still, there are so many people who want a bronzed look from the sun. Unfortunately, a cost comes with that bronzed look: exposure to UV radiation. There are 3 types of UV rays: UVA, UVB, and UVC. UVC is the most dangerous, but all of this type of radiation is absorbed by the ozone layer. UVB, on the other hand, travels past the ozone layer and enhances skin aging and promotes the development of skin cancer. UVA, while it is weaker than UVB, can penetrate deeper into the skin and can even contribute to genetic mutations. However, exposure to some natural UVR is beneficial. It causes the formation of vitamin D from cholesterol, which is why sunlight is very important. Vitamin D is used in the regulation of the amount of calcium and phosphate in our bodies, which is necessary to keep our bones and muscles healthy. Although the human body needs exposure to UVR, exposing it to unnatural sources of it, such as indoor tanning or tanning beds, can be very harmful to your body. It can change your skin texture as well as cause premature aging, including sagging, wrinkles, and age spots. Lastly, if you are using a certain medication or cosmetics, it can increase your sensitivity to UV radiation and could lead to burns, itching, scaling, rashes, or swelling. And all of these things are not fun at all to deal with. Some negative effects of overexposure to UVR in general are sunburn, wrinkles, skin cancer, eye damage, and immune system suppression. According to the World Health Organization, exposure to environmental levels of UV radiation alters the activity and distribution of some of the cells responsible for triggering immune responses in humans. The problem isn't UV radiation itself. An issue arises when people expose themselves to too much UV radiation or to unnatural sources of it, like tanning beds. From small uncomfortable inconveniences like sunburns to larger, more pressing issues such as skin cancer, overexposure to UV radiation has a negative impact on the body. This image shows a man who was diagnosed with unilateral dermatoileosis. This was published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2012. This man was a truck driver for about 28 years. He was constantly exposing one side of his face to the sun, and these are the results. The left side shows fewer wrinkles and sagging due to the fact that this side was not exposed to as much UVR over the years while he was working. I recently found out about this image and thought it was really interesting and really just clearly shows how strong the sun is. One step you can take to protect yourself from too much UVR exposure is to wear sunscreen. However, there are some substances you should look out for in your sunscreens. For example, the FDA does not consider PABA and trolamine salicylate safe or effective. PABA, which stands for para-aminobenzoic acid, is a strong UVB absorber, but has been shown to increase dermatitis and photosensitivity. Trolamine salicylate, on the other hand, has been proven to be a weak UV absorber and therefore not effective. Moreover, the FDA has stated that they are unsure about oxybenzone and are calling for more safety data on it. However, researchers have found oxybenzone in human blood and breast milk, and there are also concerns that it interferes with hormones like estrogen. Disruption in hormone levels could affect puberty, fertility, and may even be linked to cancer. Therefore, you should avoid sunscreens with these chemicals. Right now, the law in New York State says that you can only use indoor tanning beds or booths if you are 18 years or older. Additionally, you must show some form of photo ID showing you are old enough. People have speculated that the reasoning behind this includes that young adults may not fully be aware of the effects of tanning beds and may not be thinking about their mortality at their age. Furthermore, indoor tanning before the age of 30 increases the risk of melanoma by about 75%, and even just one session can increase this chance. Moreover, 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer at one point in their life. There are over 40,000 cases of melanoma each year. In addition to these statistics, the CDC has also stated that skin cancer, including melanoma, squamous cell, and basal cell, is the most common cancer in the United States. Although the effects of overexposure can be very serious, there are many different steps you could take to protect yourself. In fact, skin cancer is one of the most preventable cancers. One thing you can do to limit exposure to UV radiation is to try to enjoy outdoor activities in the early morning and late afternoon when UV light is not as strong. You should also protect yourself by wearing sunglasses and protective clothing. Additionally, using sunscreen and reapplying it throughout your time spent outside is beneficial. However, you should avoid sunscreens with oxybenzone and ones that are over an SPF of 50, as the FDA has stated that these may actually increase the risk for cancer. Lastly, it's recommended that you see a dermatologist at least once a year to get checked for any unusual spots that may be on your skin. Instead of overexposing yourself to UV radiation, you can use a self-tanner. However, you should still look out for chemicals like parabens and certain substances that are used in fragrance, specifically phthalates. Phthalates are endocrine disruptors, but most of the time they are not listed as they are hidden under the term fragrance on ingredient lists. DHA is the active ingredient in spray tans, and currently there is not much research about the effects of using it in artificial tans. Still, on the Think Dirty app, which is an app that shows people the potentially harmful substances in personal care products, there are numerous self-tanning products that are rated clean. In conclusion, there are some factors that may prompt you to take action. For example, if you have a family history of skin cancer, or if you are very fair-skinned, you may want to be more careful with exposing yourself to UV radiation, as the incidence rates are significantly higher among Caucasians. Ultimately, it is really up to you to decide for yourself whether making some changes to your lifestyle would be worth it to you. Hopefully, with this information, individuals are more aware of the strength of UVR and ways to be sun smart. Additionally, with more information about the potentially hazardous ingredients used in sunscreens, people should try to only use sunscreens with clean ingredients, which will hopefully cause a shift in the market. With people using less sun-related products containing harmful substances like parabens and phthalates, there would be an overall cleaner market for sunscreens, making everyone's lives much easier. In conclusion, with this new information, people will hopefully be more mindful and inspire others to be more mindful about their actions as well when it comes to UV radiation exposure.